Let's move on to structured active play. Now, sometimes this is kind of just left for the kids and their own devices, but we work with teachers, really dedicated PE leads all over the country, the UK, and they're doing some amazing practices within schools. And one of the things that I'd like to share with you today are wheelie clubs. Now, one of our PE leads who we work with on a very close basis, he introduced wheelie clubs into his school and they just took off so well. And that's just encouraging the kids to come with anything with wheels on. Bikes, scooters, roller skates, you name it, they came to school and they put little ramps up in their playground and put some banging tunes on. And the kids just went wild for 15 minutes before school, didn't they? And then it kind of started to creep into lunch times and then after schools as well. And until a lot of children were joining in wheelie clubs, that it's not competitive, it's just loads of fun. They were using the ramps, they were helping each other, and they were coming to schools on the bikes, so the active travel was getting better. So wheelie clubs, so easy to facilitate and don't cost anything.
There are some areas that I know of where the local council has a charity arm, if you like, where they will lend out bikes or scooters or whatever to schools, and maybe for a term, maybe even for a whole year. So you don't pay anything to rent them, but you can really get this club up and running for nothing. And it's just a super way to get all the kids involved, even the ones that don't have access to their own bikes or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some, I would like to talk about zones as well in the playground, but we'll look at that in a moment. But there's lots of different ways that we can get the kids to work in a creative space. And that sometimes is just having equipment around that they can build things with. It doesn't have to be sporty, it can just be anything that's creative. So let's have a look at how we create zones in a playground. So another school that we work with has zoned their playground, very dull concrete playground, into an amazing area for kids to play in. And they have a running track round the edge. They have a sports zone, so a ball sports zone. They have a themed games, so that can be anything from tag rugby or whatever they're playing. They have a dance zone, which is slightly raised, and it's got a little boogie box on there. And, you know, just props and things like that, which is really nice. And then you have a circuit zone, which is, they might have some weights and some bands and some exercise bands and things like that, some skipping ropes, circuit cards with coaching points on how to do the particular body weight exercises and things like that. So you can definitely bring in lots and lots of ideas to get kids involved in play, in different activities that they really enjoy. So it's not just about a few boys playing football and a few girls with a skipping rope. I know it's very cliched, but that's generally what you see. You push these ideas out and you zone your activities into these different zones, and it does make a different space, doesn't it, for everybody to be included.
And I think it's about including everybody, as you've just said, not only the children that would normally join in with things, but the children that would normally be sitting down, maybe a little bit left to one side. It's about encouraging them and finding something that they will engage with, and that's really important to get everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's your zoning, and I think just one more point, and just making sure that the break time supervisors are upskilled as well. And we've got some really nice resources for break time supervisors that will help them just to feel much more confident around just facilitating activity. Not, you know, you don't have to be Joe Wicks or anything like that. You can just have, you know, your regular break time supervisor, or if it's a teacher, just supporting each zone and making sure that it's safe. It's fun, and you know, it's regulated, I suppose. But yeah, that's the way to do it.
And lots of schools also using their older children, sort of 10, 11, even 9, 10, 11 years, as play leaders. So they are getting a younger group of children and leading them through some sort of game or exercise session. And that is brilliant for the older children to take that lead, to take that role as a leader. And it really sets them up for taking that forward into a more sport leader role when they get to a higher level.
Absolutely.